Some say it's ludicrous to recommend an advanced or professional camera to a beginner. But you see, the D200 is not a fancy schmancy toy. It's a tool, made to be reliable and efficient. And the best way to learn something is to go straight to the point. I always had a soft spot for the Nikon D200. When it came out in 2005, it was an immediate success, so much so that it was put on back order many places in the world with waiting lists up to 6 months. If you were one of the lucky few to own one in 2005, you were basically king of the hill. Sadly enough, I was just a 20-something-year-old photography student and I didn't have the money to buy one of these. And it was twice what I paid for my first car when you realize that. So how did the D200 become the success story we all know about? Well, it's because it was the first professional Nikon DSLR without a professional price tag. Before the D200, the only sensible options you got was either the $4,000 D2 series or the good but plasticky consumer D70. This camera allowed professionals around the world to get their hands on a professional camera without breaking the bank. And professional it was. The build quality is outstanding. It's a magnesium alloy body with gaskets to prevent dust and moisture to get in, and the functions, loads of buttons and knobs all around the place, making it very easy to use, because once again, one button is one function. Some say it's ludicrous to recommend an advanced or professional camera to a beginner. But you see, the D200 is not a fancy schmancy toy. It's a tool, made to be reliable and efficient. And the best way to learn something is to go straight to the point. And this camera does exactly that. When you combine this build quality with a competition shutter, a reactive AF system with selectable AF points, a burst mode and a buffer sufficient to allow you not to clog the system by transferring the file to the memory card, you get a camera that is tailored for action. But action photography ain't the only type of photography the D200 is good at. The CCD sensor is probably the best color rendition I've ever seen. It's ideal for landscape with nice looking colors or even portraits with very flattering skin tones. We have to keep in mind that this camera was released over a decade and a half ago and things have evolved. The dynamic range, for example, is not as good as it is on modern day cameras, but this is something we can deal with. The high ISO or the lack thereof, well, this camera goes up to 3200 ISO tops, is also an issue these days, especially in low light situations. But this is an image I shot at ISO 1000 and it's not that noisy. Even if you look at 100%, that's not that bad, let's be honest. Also, one of the issues many people are concerned about is it's only a 10 megapixel camera. Well, this is a print I made with a 10 megapixel file. And remember, I'm 6'2". This is a huge print. And if you look closely, well, you can see there is plenty of detail. So the 10 megapixel is not that of a problem. And last but not least, the camera uses compact flash memory cards. And yes, they are harder to come by, more expensive, and require a memory card reader. But one of my viewers suggested that we should use an SD card adapter to kind of modernize the D200, and I think it's a good idea and it's worth a try. So the million-dollar question is, should you get a D200 in 2021? And that's not for me to answer this question. See, when I got my first one, I enjoyed every moment of it. I used it all the time. And when I sold it, I regretted it almost immediately. So much so that I went into a second-hand shop and got this kit. I paid $200 for the dedicated flash, the camera body and the lens, and everything is in pristine condition, so it's not an expensive camera, or should I say it's a lot of cameras for the money. I enjoyed it so much that in the late 2020, the cover picture of my book was actually shot with a D200, and so were a lot of illustration images inside. That's the camera I enjoy to use. It has a je ne sais quoi, something that makes me love it. And I still do. I'm still gonna use it. So now you have my opinion on the D200. Make up your own. And that's all I've got for you today. As always, thank you for watching. And I will see you next time. And by the way, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, and hasta la vista. See ya.